Wait, Javonte Williams, 3 years, $24 million. I don't think that we're going to be winning $24 million this year playing fantasy football, but honestly, you never know. And I have some very good news for all of you guys at home. It is DraftKings week here on the channel. They have the training camp up, $10 to enter, $250,000 for first place. So we are sponsored by DraftKings this week. Thanks to our friends over there. It is their early bird tournament. They are going much harder at the pre-draft best ball content. Very easy concept. You go over to DraftKings, you go to lobby, you click on NFL, you click best ball contest, and you enter. Beautiful. If you do not have a DraftKings account, Code Matic will get you signed up over there. Very grateful to our friends over at DraftKings. I've got rankings up. If you guys are unfamiliar with the DraftKings scoring setting, you can get those over at patreon.com/DavisMattic. So we're going to be drafting a bunch of these this week and next week. On top of that, we are also going to be covering the Combine pretty extensively. As of right now, we have, basically the entire football community heading to Indianapolis right now to go and involve in the NFL scouting Combine. If you want to keep up with all that, obviously I would tell you, watch this space, be subscribed to this channel. If you want an idea of what is going to happen when, if you're entering into slow drafts, you want to, get on the who ran the fastest, who's this year's RJ Harvey, who's this year's Byshell Tootin. Basically, the tight ends are not going to start running or doing anything until Friday. And the running backs and the wide receivers, which is most important for us, they are not going to do their on-field workout and their drills until Saturday. Now, there is actually, I would say this is a pretty meaningful difference in terms of years past. If you're a nerd like me and you want to keep up with all of these spreadsheets, we actually, I think, are going to get some more measurements this year because at least they have the bench press and the workout stuff on different days. So that's a pretty big deal, right? Because basically what was happening in years past is guys were having to do the bench press and then they were also having to do, just their regular crap. They were having to go do their runs and everything on the same day. So at least that is going to be on a different day now, which, shout out to the powers that be, bless them for that. But I think we're going to gain, basically, we are going to get a ton of information about, we should get some really good information from the media interviews, from the team interviews, from, some of these guys, we're going to get information from the medical examination, but we're going to start to get a lot of more accurate mock drafts. We are going to be like, oh, like the NFL actually loves player X, the NFL actually loves player Y. So if this is your first time drafting pre NFL draft best ball, this is basically like, honestly, I would say free agent week is going to be the peak amount of information, but combine week is also, pretty substantial information about who is going to play where. And you also are going to get a lot of secondary scuttlebutt, as it were, out here, because the scuttlebutt is, it's kind of what we're all about here. Where are we going to be drafting in this one? All right, first draft of the stream. We are going to be drafting out of the 11 hole on DraftKings. I've got the sidekick loaded up here. I've got my rankings loaded up in the applet. But yeah, we should be getting lots of reports basically because anyone who is anyone in NFL reporting circles, they're in Indianapolis right now, right? All the reporters are in Indianapolis. All the fantasy guys are in Indianapolis. My guy, Rich Rebar, actually is in Indianapolis right now. And I'm sure a lot of your favorite content creators are in Indianapolis at the scouting combine right now. And yeah, so we're going to get like a lot of, Tyreek Hill is actually going to sign here. And the Omar Cooper Jr. stuff is actually all a false flag, and teams actually hate Zachariah Branch, or Geno Smith is going to agree to a deal here or there. Yes, as my good friend Jake says, a lot of zeros are going to be getting more expensive this week. Yes, some of our favorite zeros are going to become more expensive. We've got some friends here. My guy Brad is in the 4 hole. Shady Advice is drafting at the 3 spot. My man, Mr. Stockton, is in the 7 slot. And yeah, we're gonna have a nice little time. We're gonna hang out. We are going to draft some DraftKings playoff best ball teams today. I can't imagine very many of you don't have DraftKings account, but if you don't, promo code Matic will get you a nice little deposit boosterini over there, and we're just gonna have a nice fun time. We're gonna talk about some players. We're gonna talk about some roster construction stuff. I do think I'll tell you one pretty big difference on DraftKings versus Underdog, which is I am a little bit more hip to the elite wide receiver start. So whether that be, kind of at the 6 hole, you do like you go CeeDee Lamb over McCaffrey or Taylor, and then you back them up with London or something like that. I'm a little bit more hip to that. And then over at the turn, I do think you can take Justin Jefferson in the first round. I know that's not going to be famous words. Ooh, who do I want the Kansas City Chiefs to draft for real life, not fantasy? I mean, I would say as long as they do not take Jeremiah Love, I'm very, very okay with that. I mean, I'm hoping. I think Caleb Downs would be awesome for them. The safety, this guy. Well, if they're able to get any of the defensive linemen, any of the big, at line ruining defensive linemen, that would be massive. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to get Bain. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get David Bailey. Think it would be unlikely that the tackle Spencer Fano gets to them. So I would love. I would say Caleb Downs would be my top want. Really, really anyone who can either keep Patrick Mahomes upright or defend the pass. That is what I would prefer the Kansas City Chiefs to do. Yes, I am also still confused as to how all the mocks have Downs falling so far, because it doesn't really make sense. Now, again, you should not come to me for evaluation of defensive players. Like I would say I have a lot of skills and a lot of strengths as someone who knows about football. I wouldn't particularly say that evaluating defensive players is one of them, but everything that I read is that Caleb Downs is this otherworldly safety prospect. And I know safeties have kind of been marginalized in this version of the NFL, but it feels like some team could just take him and he'd be like a souped up version of what Emmanwori did. All right, we are just going to tap the button on Devin Achane here. I've got Devin Achane over Cook in my ranks. I feel very good about that on DraftKings. Don't know how you guys feel about that one, but my degree of being scared on Devin Achane is basically zero. I think, frankly, the offense, even with losing McDaniel, is probably going to be better addition by subtraction, because they're not going to have to deal with the Tua nightmare. And not that even all of it was necessarily Tua's fault, as we take Justin Jefferson here. I mean, being able to start Achane and Jefferson does feel a little bit like a cheat. Not that it would necessarily be anyone's fault, but that McDaniel, Tua motion, Malik Washington jet motion, relying on Tyreek, Jalen Waddle over the middle, that had just ran its course. The offense, it needed something new. I mean, Slowick is definitely not bullish for Achane, right? I don't think that we can imagine that Bobby Slowick is this incredible. Bobby Slowick is a bad. He's just bad. But he's the pass game coordinator. So what does it matter? I mean, who is the Dolphins OC right now? I guess that was just wrong. His title, I don't know why this is. Oh, because it was the year before. He got promoted. But yes, I mean, this is the point that I was about to make, which is that the usage for Singletary and Mixon was really good, and they were not the most efficient running backs of all time. So here you go. The 2023 Houston Texans, where Bobby Slowick was calling plays, we got Joe Mixon. This was the Singletary year. So we got 246 touches for Singletary for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns, 158 touches for Dameon Pierce for 517 yards and 2 touchdowns. The next season was Joe Mixon. These are all players who are worse than Devin Achane. And we got 245 rushes for Mixon, 52 targets, 1,300 scrimmage yards, 12 touchdowns. Yeah, I just there. I don't think I would say there's not an offensive coordinator who can be bad for Achane, and it's hard for me to imagine the Dolphins' offense being worse as a whole than they were last year. If you think about it, how many weeks in DFS last year did Devin Achane project as a value, but we did not want to play Devin Achane? We didn't want to draft Devin Achane in Battle Royales. We did not want to play Devin Achane on DraftKings because we were like, oh, well, the Dolphins are just going to get blown out. So it's hard for me to imagine things being much worse contextually. In fact, things will probably be better for him contextually. He might not be a PPR scam anymore, as MBF notes, but does that even matter? I'm not certain it does. I'm not certain that it does matter. Jalen Waddle needs a passer that can truly unlock his potential. I mean, yeah, who do we think is going to be quarterback? There are probably more mid-level quarterbacks, like 27th best quarterbacks in the NFL available this offseason than ever before, right? I mean, you've got like your Kirk Cousins, your Genos, your Joe Flacco's. Imagine Joe Flacco ends up being the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. You know, it's going to be it's going to be like there are ways you could argue that it could upgrade. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Even Kirk Cousins could get Waddle to 1,210. I mean, I agree. I think Waddle, particularly on DraftKings, actually is one of the best clicks on the board. Wow. Okay. So the sidekick wants me to take Rashi. I'm actually going to take ETN because my rankings have a giant tier break after ETN. So from ETN, I have like a 15 spot gap to Scatterboot and then Judkins. And actually, probably in my next ranking update, after Javonte Williams signed this free agent deal, I actually am going to sadly move Javonte Williams back. Not sadly, whatever. I mean, you know, good for Javonte. He reinvigorated his career. I'm happy for him. And there you go. And we get Rashee Rice anyway. So the legendary upside Cabal, not afraid of Rashee Rice. I guess, you know, at the end of the day, either he in the fourth round is basically the best pick on the board or he's a zero. And you can win with zeros anyway. The 2025 Dolphins won 7 games. Now they're cutting all their big contract old guys, not just Tyreek. They're going to win 3 games next year. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, though, how often does this happen in the NFL where these teams get rid of a bunch of dead weight and then they actually kind of end up being better because they're just not carrying all these old guys that they have to play? I mean, I think the Dolphins are probably going to be bad. It just is what it is. A-Rich comes back to Florida, or them sticking with Ewers would be scary. There's no way Ewers is the quarterback, right? I mean, I would put Ewers starting in week 1 at like plus 500 or something. Just like really, really unlikely. I think. I mean, there are so 2026 free agent QBs. So these are quarterbacks who just do not have a contract right now. So we've got Geno Smith, who is unsigned. We have got Rodgers, who's going to go back to Pittsburgh. You've got Mariota. You've got Tyrod Taylor. You've got Flacco. You've got Jimmy G. You've got, I mean, even guys like Mitch Trubisky. You've got Josh Johnson. You've got, I mean, Malik Willis, I think, is probably going to go to Arizona. Other guys, you've got Gardner Minshew. I mean, Gardner Minshew could start there. Who else? Jake Browning, maybe. Like there are guys out there. Quote, I think McDaniel has really buoyed his usage role. I'd be worried about a defensive head coach with Slowick at offensive coordinator involving Wright and Gordon a la Braylon Allen stealing Breece work. That, you know, fair. What I would say is Devin Achane is just much, much better than Breece Allen. Like 2 or 3 times better than I said Breece Allen, than Breece Hall. Yeah, how about this? How about Trinidad Chambliss having to go back to school? I wonder how many people already took him in these pre-draft contests despite him going back to school. At this point, isn't either Rashi's court case keep getting pushed back until after this season or he's done? Again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take legal advice from me. But the way that I understand it is that it would be abnormal for the NFL to act on a civil case before the civil case has been resolved. But what you have to stack on top of that is that there are extenuating circumstances in that Rashee Rice has already been disciplined by the league. Rashee Rice is already a literal felon who is on probation. Where it gets into the murky, gray legal area for Rashee Rice is that according to which report you read and who you're reading it from, the civil case is dictating actions that took place before the incident for which he was suspended. I do not know if that is true. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not one of Rashee Rice's representatives in no way, shape, or form are any of those things true. But I would say I tend to align with either he will not be suspended at all this season or he gets like hammered. That's just kind of what makes most sense to me. Now, obviously, again, I am not a legal minded person. So maybe you guys should ask Chad Candles on Chad Candles' morning stream. Chad is a lawyer. So Chad could probably give you a better answer. True. It's true. Trubisky did have a sick week 18 start. There have been, quote from Mark Smith, there have been Money Mitch rumors out there. I mean, we've actually done this with Mitch Trubisky before. Remember when Mitch was Josh Allen's backup, right? And then he signed with Pittsburgh. And then didn't he come back, right? Isn't that what happened with Mitch? I'm almost certain that's what happened. Where Mitch signed a deal. Yeah, he went to Buffalo, then signed a deal with Pittsburgh, then got benched for Pittsburgh, then came back to Buffalo. Like, we've literally already done this before. All right, Judkins goes. My preference would probably be Tate here. I wonder, do we think, you know what? I don't care about the difference between Swift and Ramondre, so let's go ahead and do Tate. So we have Achane, ETN, Jefferson, Rashee, and Tate. We've got Lawrence set up. We've got JJ McCarthy late. We've got Mahomes. And then, I don't know, is it time we start thinking about who we're stacking Carnell Tate with? There you go. So I think we played that appropriately. Oh, okay. Well, now the sidekick is saying I should nab a quarterback. Huh. I mean, what am I really giving up here? I'm giving up Ramondre as like my flex start. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do Jaden Daniels. And I don't care. Something I do like about taking Jaden Daniels is it does sort of take the pressure off of stacking, both in the sense of what it does to the build and in the sense of how your roster would project in week 17. Because, I mean, I think you could ultimately argue it's like totally fine to have Jaden Daniels unstacked. And maybe, so Tate's most mocked position is at 7, and the Washington Commanders pick at 7. So maybe I just did a Tate Jaden Daniels stack. I'm saying maybe we did. Achane to the Bears in a trade was a rumor I heard this week that feels pretty salty for fantasy. I mean, I guess I personally would be rather surprised if we saw Achane get traded. It feels like, to me, he's like the plan for them on offense. Like, it feels like as much as the Miami Dolphins have a plan right now, and when you hire a defensive head coach and promote Bobby Slowick to your offensive coordinator, it feels like maybe you don't have much of a plan. But to the extent that they do have a plan, it feels like, basically, Achane is the plan. Where does Terry McLaurin fall to if Washington takes Tate? Well, my guy, David, you've been around for a while. You know I'm not really a Terry guy. So Terry McLaurin probably falls from where, so he went at 42 in this draft. This is right about where he was going last year. If they take Tate, McLaurin probably falls about around half a round. So like maybe he falls after Jalen Waddle, but ahead of Parker Washington and Watson. But it would not be far enough for me because I think we have, honestly, we just have like precious little evidence that Terry McLaurin can be like a huge target earning wide receiver. Maybe that's wrong. By the way, they changed the menu on Pro Football Reference and it is killing me. I mean, Terry McLaurin is a really good wide receiver, right? But we kind of know exactly what he is. 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, 5 for 1,000, 1,100, 1,000, 1,100. And, then he spikes the 13 touchdown season. And everyone loves him in fantasy. But I would say, by and large, I remain ambivalent on Terry. Chris, okay, give me the info. Quote, Washington definitely does not take Tate. Give me the info. Give me the, if you got an inside scoop. Because I want to start thinking about it. I mean, yeah, Washington quote needs to go defense, but like, I don't know if they view Carnell Tate as a once in a lifetime guy. Like if they view Tate as the best prospect in the class, they should take him. Wow. All right. Here you go, boys. Me and the sidekick. Handshake meme. Me and the sidekick. Patrick Mahomes. I have him ranked at 81. He is the top sidekick pick there. So we now have 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, no tight ends. We have no tight end, no flex starter yet. Probably not going to take a quarterback until like the Aaron Rodgers, Ty Simpson, Marcus Mariota, Tua Tagovailoa, Geno Smith range, which I feel comfortable doing. That's another thing on DraftKings is it's the same thing as post-draft as pre-draft. Like, get your quarterbacks early. I mean, you see it right here. Sidekick is still saying take a third quarterback, even with that hole at flex and at tight end. I kind of want to disregard it here, but you look at this part of the draft. I mean, this part of the draft, Pollard, Prescott, Pitts, Purdy, Wandale, Worthy, like, I mean, Worthy might even come all the way back around to us because we've owned the Mahomes variant. Like, it does kind of just make sense. Like, hey, man, just take the quarterback here. What are you really giving up? I mean, Pitts, maybe we should just take Pitts. Maybe we should just take Laporta would be the. Yeah, you know what? I am. I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts, the freshly franchise tagged Kyle Pitts. I honestly kind of agree with this. Gadsden over Laporta and Pitts. Gadsden, though, needs to duck the Kenyon Sadiq dart in the NFL draft, and Laporta and Pitts are safe in terms of they are going to be the starting tight ends. But I was a big Gadsden guy as a prospect. I honestly loved Gadsden last year, and I've talked about this several times, but sort of the idea that Gadsden's production tailed off last year, his production tailed off as the entire offense's production tailed off. Like, he and Keenan Allen had a similar fall from grace. I mean, honestly, Ladd McConkey too. It was like as the offensive lines, as the offensive line health decreased, his usage went down. What are your largest meta and ranking differences between DraftKings and Underdog? So one, I have quarterbacks pushed up. I mean, you can see this in my rankings, but I have quarterbacks pushed up a good degree. I've got Purdy 10 spots higher than ADP. I've got Jordan Love higher than ADP. I've got Shuck higher than ADP. Got a lot of these guys higher than ADP. Another thing that is sort of interesting about DraftKings is that actually this range of wide receiver, Wandale, Worthy, Addison, Coker, Jennings, Godwin, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins. These guys are just more useful on DraftKings than they are on Underdog. Like those kinds of guys are just so useless on Underdog. Like, God love him, but Khalil Shakir is basically just like taking 8 points every week. Like that. Like, okay, you're gonna get 8 points from from Khalil Shakir, you know, whereas on DraftKings, I mean, Khalil Shakir can rack up 11 receptions for 64 yards and be useful. Another thing I like about, or another structural difference, I'm I'm pretty open to 4 tight ends on DraftKings, particularly very late. Some guys that I really like in my rankings: Terrence Ferguson, Eli Stowers, Gunnar Helm, Justin Jolly, Elijah Royal, Michael Trigg, Michael Mayer, even like Tyler Higbee. I don't have some of these guys down there. They're really low in my rankings, but I think that just with the way the flex position works, I think you can take uh, 4 tight ends at a greater frequency on DraftKings versus on Underdog. Really, that's just a full PPR versus half PPR difference. But by and large, the fact that it's both 20 rounds is kind of nice. You know, and the bonuses, right? Don't forget about the bonuses for 300 yards, 100 yards. I mean, that makes a marginal difference. Although honestly, not much. Because at this stage of the season, you know, when you're drafting fantasy football teams on February 3rd, most of what we are doing that is so different is we're just trying to predict playing time. Like when we're drafting these teams in August, we are going to have real opinions on efficiency and performance and what offense is going to be good and what offense is going to be bad. But like if we're just nailing playing time, like here you go. Here's an example. Oh shit. Well, I was about to take Shakir, but I'm definitely not taking Shakir over Worthy when I have Mahomes. Gotta take Worthy there. If Shakir's still available, I will take him. But Xavier Worthy at 107 when you already have Mahomes. I mean, again, with Debo back on board, that pair with Terry and a healthy JD for me is an easier buy, an easier play than investing in a rookie. Well, Debo is an unrestricted free agent. So I don't know if Debo Samuel is going to be back with the Commanders. In fact, I would probably lean he wouldn't, just because of where they draft, because they could definitely get a receiver in the. Oh, here you go. I mean, we'll just take Khalil Shakir right here. Oh, he went. He did go. Khalil Shakir. Wait, no, he didn't. Where is he? Oh, he's just buried in my rankings. All right, Khalil Shakir. So now we are at Jaden Daniels, Devin Achane, Travis Etienne Jr., Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Carnell Tate, Kyle Pitts Sr., Xavier Worthy, Patrick Mahomes, and Khalil Shakir. So very glad we started with Achane and Etienne. I think that was a nice pairing to begin with. Yes, and as noted, Vitrone, you finished what? You finished top 6 in the eliminator. He noted I was never taking Shakir over Worthy. A man has to believe in something, and I believe in a 125-pound wide receiver who can't stay healthy. Debo has that late career Raven vibe to him. My God, doesn't he? Man, late career Ravens wide receivers. There's gotta be like a good there's gotta be a good meme of this. I mean, yeah, like there's been so many of these. We've got Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith Sr. We've got Mike Wallace, Crabtree, Jeremy Macklin, Odell, DeAndre Hopkins, Dez Bryant. You know, so many guys. So I mean, it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, Tyreek will probably be a Raven, right? Yeah, Ravens or Titans. Julio Jones, I guess he was a Titan, right? At the end, they should focus more on retaining Debo and investing in the defense. Well, the Commanders definitely do need to invest in the defense. I mean, that much is certainly true. But Debo probably will cost a pretty penny. I mean, what is Debo's annual average value that he is leaving? This is actually a very handy list here. So this is the list from Spotrac. So Debo is projected to have a market value of $15 million. I don't know, man. I don't know if the Commanders want to pay $15 million for him. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I wonder if maybe they're more shopping in the dude, like Marquise Brown. Honestly, give me Hollywood Brown for them. Given because if you think about the Jaden Daniels offense, like okay, like oh he's getting career years out of De'Ami Brown and Noah Brown is smashing. Like I feel like maybe with the Jaden Daniels offense, I don't know if Debo is even the right fit for the Commanders offense. I could be wrong. And maybe they do just retain him. What is Pierce's range? I mean, I'll tell you right now, this number right here, 20 million, way too low. Way too low. Alec Pierce is getting I mean, I've said he'll be closer to 30 than $20 million a year. That might be a bit much, but it might not be. I think he might get like a 3-year, $90 million deal with like a lot of incentives or something like that. I don't I wouldn't do it, but I think the Colts also like love that guy. Based on my reading of the situation, I think the Colts just love that guy. I think they like what he does. I think they think he's a good fit for the Shane Steichen offense. I mean, look at some of the wide receiver contracts that are out there. NFL wide receiver contracts. You'd be surprised how much some of these dudes make. Like DJ Moore makes $27 million a year. Devonta Smith makes 25. Michael Pittman Jr. makes 23. I mean, he's gonna get cut. Godwin just signed a deal worth $22 million. Like price of the brick for wide receivers is just it's just up. That's just kind of the nature of the NFL. I mean, Christian Kirk just last offseason, he's a free agent. So Christian Kirk just signed a deal 2 seasons ago worth $18 million a year, you know, and he's bad. Like Christian Kirk wasn't even good when he signed that deal. But with the Jaguars, right? He signed that big deal with the Jags and then got cut. Okay. We are gonna add in. Ooh, do I want to do? All right, sidekick. We'll take the Trey Benson ride. We'll add Trey Benson as the wide receiver 3 or the running back 3. I do prefer Emmett Johnson to Benson though, if it comes to it. Yes, salary cap did go up a pretty significant margin. I don't know how much. I just saw that tweet this morning. But it did go up. It did go up some percentage. I don't know quite how much. All right, Debo goes. Coleman goes. Sidekick says what? I'm gonna skip on quarterback here. It wants Kyler. I'm gonna wait on quarterback. I'm gonna take Emmett Johnson because with Daniels and Mahomes, I want to be more in this range, like Rodgers, McCarthy, Ty Simpson, Kirk Cousins, Mariota, Derek Carr. I mean, there are honestly a lot of guys down here. Gino is gonna get some starts. Like Rattler might get some. I mean, Russell Wilson. Like I don't think Russell Wilson is retiring. Russell Wilson's gonna rear his ugly head. Ooh, Kitchen's combine game got me looking a little bit more friendly at Benson. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I'm actually building something similar to this, by the way, for our stuff. But Kitchen on swolecast.com had a cool little thing. If you guys want to go play some combine games over there, pretty cool. Shout out to that's the first thing that Dave built with his open claw. Google says the cap went up $22 million. That's a lot of millions. That's a lot of millions. And that's all going to go to Alec Pierce. So ultimately what I think happens with Alec Pierce and the Indianapolis Colts is this. I think they agree to a multi-year contract with Daniel Jones. Definitely going to have some incentives. Definitely going to have an early out, but probably give Daniel Jones a decent amount of cash this season. I think they will either cut or restructure Michael Pittman Jr. My guess is cut Michael Pittman Jr. I know Sacrilegious disagreed with me. on that, but I think he probably gets cut because $23 million is a lot to pay Michael Pittman Jr. if you're also paying Alec Pierce between 20, 25, $29 million, something like that. And one of those guys ends up frozen out. Now, the thing that I could not be seeing is maybe another team really, really covets Alec Pierce, like thinks Alec Pierce is the perfect fit to the puzzle that they are building and is willing to come over the top. Like, for example, if the Titans wanted to come over the top, they could, right? The Tennessee Titans have $103 million in cap space, $92 million in effective cap space. They can spend $217 million total on their roster. The Raiders can offer big money. The Chargers can offer big money. The Jets can offer big money. Doesn't buying the top on Alec Pierce feel very Raiders or Jets coded? It does. It kind of does to me. But the Colts certainly want to retain. I don't know. I think the opposite of this. I don't think the Colts are interested in rebuilding at all because they don't have first round picks. They traded 2 first round picks for Sauce Gardner. I think the Colts think with Daniel Jones in that division, like that. Why would the Colts think they can't just keep winning that division? Their division absolutely sucks. Well, actually, that's honestly, never mind. That's completely not true. Their division used to suck, but now that the Jags are good, and the Texans have that defense, maybe not. Maybe, but I don't think. I mean, the Colts can't afford to rebuild. But I definitely did just misspeak. That was my old brain. The Colts are not a bad team, actually. One of Pittman or Pierce leaving me has more into downs. I would agree with that, Chad. Honestly, I'll tell you the thing that is difficult for me is that because I do so much drafting off of the leg up sims, and the leg up sims seem to be far below my odds of Michael Pittman Jr. being on a different team, that I very rarely get downs in the sidekick. So I need to make a change in my mental framework to maybe try and bring downs up a little bit more often. You know, I just said this to someone in the YouTube comments. David, Darnold just won the Super Bowl. Anything can happen with a healthy JT running. I mean, certainly I agree with you. Damn. This actually would have been a great team to take Kenyon Sadiq, and I can't do it. Bummer. Oh, GM, evening from Manchester. I've just turned on Davis, and the first thing I see is you've drafted Kalosh Kier. No, I'm not feeling okay. I'm feeling ill. Are you Haynes, are you not a Manchester United fan? Are you a Man City fan? You're not. Manchester United just kicked off 8 minutes ago. Are you not watching, brother? Are you out? He's out, bro. All right. Aaron Jones. All right, sure. Aaron Jones. Likely, I think, to probably be waived by the Minnesota Vikings. They save $8 million cutting Aaron Jones. There you go. Big Man City fan, as are all Mancunians. Never been. I imagine it's a city divided, but maybe it isn't. Maybe everyone who's Manchester United fans are out of the city. Man, do I want to take Rachaad White? Do I want actually I want to take a moonball here. I'm going to take Braylon Allen. Because there are now multiple reports that other teams are starting to be interested in Breece Hall, even with these transitional tags. So they might be able to trade him, in which case Braylon Allen really just very underdrafted, probably underdrafted just as a handcuff. Ooh, Chelsea fan. Yeah, very frustrating. Just get another 17-year-old right winger and it'll all get figured out. Joy Division singer's favorite color was Man City blue. Do the kids even know about Joy Division these days? Or is that totally gone? We don't know about Ian Curtis anymore? The kids know love will tear us apart, I'm sure. That's the only thing they know. They don't know about Joy Division. Yes, there you go. 2025's big board champion, Goods 904 weighing in. Braylon to the moon. Ever since you've stated it, I've been trying to draft him more and more. I am not fading your call, Goods. Yes, for those who don't know, Jacob is literally in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico right now, as it appears that. So Jacob is literally in the middle of a war zone right now. So haven't heard from him. I heard from him yesterday. Let's see. Has he tweeted? Jacob tweeted 4 hours ago. So as of 4 hours ago, he was not in custody of the cartel. Did you advance any NBA best ball teams on DraftKings or UD? Yes, I did. I did 10 double dribbles on Underdog, and I advanced 3 of them. I'm pretty sure they were all Nikola Jokic teams. I'm almost certain. 2 of them were Jokic. One of them was a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander team. So there we go. We've got 3 teams live for us. All right, team recap here. We have got Jaden Daniels, Devin Achane, Travis Etienne Jr., Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Carnell Tate, Kyle Pitts Sr., Xavier Worthy, stacked with Patrick Mahomes, Khalil Shakir, Trey Benson, Emmett Johnson, Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen. So we need to start hammering the tight end button. Luckily, there are some late tight ends that I think are there. Actually, late tight end does feel a little bit like a cheat code. I feel as if here best clicks on the board for me. I mean, Terrence Ferguson, if you made me say who is the number 1 click on the board right now, like my literal favorite late round click, it's definitely Terrence Ferguson. And I feel similarly about Eli Stowers this year as I did Oronde Gadsden last year. However, I am more confident that Stowers gets good draft capital than I am on Gadsden, because Gadsden probably should have been a 0. He's just so good. Most of the time when you are right about something, generally speaking, the NFL won't agree with you. You know? But in this case, they actually were. Jacob quits his lawyer job and conveniently winds up in a war zone. I think he's Canadian CIA. That's a real wind horse situation. Gunner, yes, as my guy Pat Joyce notes, Gunner Helm. I mean, Gunner Helm is honestly, I should probably be higher on Gunner Helm because Chig is gone. Okay, I most certainly am not taking TJ Hawkinson, so I will take Terrence Ferguson here as my second tight end, and then I'm probably going to take Likely as my third. We might even take fourth. How far up does ETN move for you if he goes to the Chiefs, like Pete Sweeney suggested he might? I'd move him here. I'd move him ahead of Chase Brown. So that would be between, pick 20 and pick 15, kind of depending. Again, definitely not. Dude, TJ Hawkinson is done. I mean, he has absolutely nothing left in the tank. You know what? Let's take Elijah Surratt. I feel as if the Omar Cooper Jr. hype might have gone a bit far. Surratt mostly ate his lunch. Chase Roberts is the next Puka. So interesting that you bring up Chase Roberts, because you are now the second person in as many days to bring up Chase Roberts to me. My guy Andrew GNPC brought him up to me yesterday. So Chase Roberts in the slap model, it's not great. Really, really low slap model score. So low draft capital. pretty low breakout, not an early declare, no teammate score. 33% peak dominator rating is pretty good. No rushing adjustment for him. So like basically like the things that correlate that we know for fantasy success. Not great. Let me see if I can pull up anything more interesting on him. Or maybe my stuff is wrong and he is an early declare. I could be wrong. Like my spreadsheet is certainly not perfect. Maybe he is an early declare. No, he's not. Peak dominator rating. See, and my sheet's even wrong because this is, well, maybe they just calculate it differently. 36% dominator rating. Let's give him pick 100 overall. Oh, all right. Well, Ty Montgomery, Malachi Corley, Nick Toon. I mean, these guys were like at least drafted, so kind of interesting. He's not available to draft yet on little big boards, but can I pull up Malik Benson? I mean, I can't. If he's not available there, I can't guarantee. Okay, he is in my sheet. Malik Benson, draft year 2026, projected undrafted free agent, 26 model score. He is actually getting a decent breakout score, which is kind of interesting for someone this low, like a lot higher than like Mike Strachan, for example. Really low peak dominator rating. I mean, you know, like the computer is not perfect. Ooh, you know what? I can't actually look this up. I can look up Puka's. It's not going to be very good, but I can look it up. Puka's slap score. Oh, not as bad as I thought. 51st percentile. So actually, if you see this, the difference between display score, draft capital score, and model score basically means that the slap model liked him a lot more than his draft capital. So when you see a delta between the draft capital score and the slap model score, and the slap model score is higher, that means that my computer spreadsheet liked him more as a prospect. So let's see why. I mean, a super high breakout score. So really good age adjusted production, early declare score, which I think is wrong anyway. Okay, no, he got an early breakout age. The peak dominator is wrong. Oh, that's why. 209 rushing yards. So the combination of the high breakout score and the rushing yards are why the slap model liked him. If you guys want to play around with that, if you want that spreadsheet, that is up on patreon.com/DavisMattic for anyone who wants to play around with that. All the data is in there and you guys can check it out. Oh, I wanted to get back to this. Someone said Hawkinson is done, but Kelce is a great pick. I mean, all due respect, bro. TJ Hawkinson did fuck all the last 2 years, and Travis Kelce ate his lunch. TJ Hawkinson last year. Hold on, I got to make this pick. We've got another tight end. All right, bang. I'm going to take Eli Stowers over Mason Taylor. TJ Hawkinson last season, in the last 2 years, has 905 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce just last season had 851 yards and 5 touchdowns. I know. Look, I know he looked bad. I'm just gonna take Rodgers here as my third quarterback. I know that Kelce looked really bad, but I mean, you just can't argue with it. Kelce produces points for fantasy, and TJ Hawkinson doesn't. TJ Hawkinson has never had a 1,000-yard season. TJ Hawkinson has not topped 6 touchdowns in a season ever. You know, TJ Hawkinson career yards per target 7.1. Travis Kelce's yards per target as a dead man walking last year 7.9. So it's just a totally different style of player. Report came out today that Bobby Slowick is a big fan of Quinn Ewers. I mean, that can't be real, bro. Dan Campbell traded him away. I mean, look, some guys, it's I don't know. I tell you what, I love TJ Hawkinson as a prospect. TJ Hawkinson as a prospect was a very fun guy. It just does, like, some guys, it's just unfortunate. Hawkinson basically he lost his knees. Well, I mean, it's now basically confirmed that Travis Kelce is not retiring. Right? I mean, didn't we get that report literally yesterday that he's negotiating his contract? Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's over, man. He's not retiring. Andy Reid stated there is communication with Travis Kelce. Reid added that he believes communication is the main thing and that he thinks Kelce wants to, quote, move forward. So yeah, it's over. He's coming back. I would put Kelce retirement risk at like 20% maybe. I would say the path that Kelce retires is if the Chiefs are like, we're giving you the veteran minimum. And he's like, well, fuck that. Don't disrespect me. And I would imagine he probably wants to end his career with the Chiefs, I would guess. And I would say that's probably his main motivation for coming back. So he's only going to not come back if the Chiefs just won't pay him anything. I would say that seems what it's like to me. Can you rename your drafted teams on DraftKings like you can on Underdog? You cannot. Yeah, I mean, come on. Travis Kelce is going out with Chris Oladekun as a quarterback of his final game. I'm not, me personally, I'm not buying it. Now, you know, lot of times I've been wrong. And I will probably continue to be wrong about many things in my life. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I would never say 100% though. Move forward means he wants to move forward with his life. I mean, hey, you could be right. Wouldn't I tell you what, I certainly am not built to be a professional athlete, because if I was engaged to the world's biggest pop star, I'd probably say, hey man, thanks for the memories, Kansas City. You know, love you guys. It was a good run. We had a good time, but it's over. It's over now, you know. All right. Wow. Imagine that. Cooper Kupp showing up as our wide receiver, whatever, our wide receiver 7. Now, is Karain going to want me to take another tight end? Yeah. So this is a very funny thing that probably only happens to me amongst Sidekick users, but because I so often ignore their recommendations early and they disagree with my ranking, they tell me, hey man, you actually didn't take Eli Stowers. You actually didn't take anyone there. So you need another tight end. So we're going to take Justin Jolly. So final team here. Let's go to the draft board view. So we started Achane Jefferson, tacked on ETN at pick 35, Rashee Rice at 38, Carnell Tate at 59, took Jaden Daniels and then Mahomes, Kyle Pitts at 86, Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir, Trey Benson, Emmett Johnson, Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen, Terrence Ferguson, Elijah Surratt, Eli Stowers, Aaron Rodgers, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jolly. So only rookie. Well, actually, we did kind of go hard on the rookies. I would assume that when Kelce comes back, his ADP is going to end up in this range right here. So he's going to be in the Goddard, Kittle, Ferguson, Kincaid range. I don't know exactly where, but like pick 105 to pick 115. Yes, and this is actually probably one of the biggest points, which is that tight end, particularly again on DraftKings, is going to hit the flex position more often than you would think. So we hopped into another one. This is draft number 2, starting 54 minutes and 26 seconds into the stream. We are going to be drafting out of the 5 slot with, again, shady advice right next to us. Wow. TK Perfect Tens has the live a little. I mean, this is incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen this out in the wild, but this is the Soccer Dave Live a Little logo. Are you guys seeing this? I mean, this is hilarious. I gotta go post that in the Swolecast group chat. I mean, how funny. I've never seen that in the wild before. So funny. All right. Well, drafting out of the 5 slot, so we will likely get JSN in this one. So we'll move from there. Shady went 5 tight ends in the last draft. Yeah. Um I again, like the difference between wait, Tyler, that's you with the live a little? That's you with the live a little avatar? I mean, that's perfect, bro. And also, I just realized I misspoke. We are not drafting the 5 slot. We are drafting out of the 6 slot in draft number 2 here on the stream. So we will not be getting JSN unless someone ahead of us does something funky. Which sometimes you do. I'll tell you what, I've gotten JSN in the 6 slot more times than I would think. All right, there we go. Well, we don't get him. We will be taking McCaffrey, and something I don't mind about taking McCaffrey. I actually do prefer McCaffrey for sure on DraftKings because he could have like 807 rushing yards and still be a total smash. At least that's my opinion. That's just how she goes. Okay. Well, let's try and let's try and impress Shady here. Let's not let old Shady advice dunk on us too hard here on the program. Wow, my guy Ego saw the take cast with Pat. It really motivated me to live healthier. Thanks, sir. Well, hey man, I'm always here. We actually have a whole thread in the Slappy Central Discord, which if you are a $5 a month member here on the channel, you have access to, where a bunch of us talk about our training and our diets and everything. My guy Tyler is in there. My guy Bindles posts in there. My guy Twan will be in there. But yeah, it's a good time. Really, honestly, I mean, I would say if you are the type of person who is watching a stream on February about fantasy football, it would be the perfect place for you. I would say if in general you are one of the 164 people watching this live, spending the $5 a month to join the YouTube membership, I would say is money well spent. If I wasn't in it, I would spend the $5 a month to be in it. I mean that in all sincerity. That is not marketing. That is that is just true. I would be very bummed out. I tell you, because best ball is kind of lonely. I mean, in general, daily fantasy sports and all this stuff online is kind of lonely. And it's just like in your real life, it's very unlikely that you're gonna find someone as sick as you. You know what I'm saying? Like I have some real life buddies who do best ball. Shout out my good friend Tanner, who's a best ball sicko. Some of like my high school buddies, my college buddies are into it, but they're not, you know, they're not disgusting. They come up for air every once in a while. All right. So when you start, wow, I don't know how many times I've seen McBride slip. Wow. Imagine Tyler doesn't take McBride here. Imagine Templeton GT. Is that my guy GT Temp? This is my boy. This is my boy G Temp right here. GT. Okay, I knew G Temp was gonna take us. Man, I might take Bowers, honestly. could be fun. Do I want to take him? Well, I can't. So let's just take Neighbors. Interesting that Crane has London higher. I'm going to take Neighbors. Maybe I need to reevaluate that in my rankings. Yes. I mean, and this is legit. I think being scared of Malik Willis being his quarterback, like, I don't think you should be scared because Malik Willis is bad. I think you should be scared that the volume is going to drop off so dramatically. The Arizona Cardinals, this is crazy. I actually just looked this up. The Arizona Cardinals led the National Football League in pass attempts last year. Malik Willis has played in 41 games since 2017 at Auburn, Liberty, Tennessee, and Green Bay. So 4 different stops, 4 different coaches. He has thrown over 30 passes 4 times since 2017. He has thrown over 25 times 12 times since 2017. This is not me. I'm not shitting on Malik Willis. I like Malik Willis. I draft Malik Willis. But there's no world where the passing volume from last year repeats itself for Arizona. I literally have no one to talk best ball to in the United Kingdom. I also have to wait for you guys to haul your ass out of bed every day at like 1 to 2 p.m. my time. Oh, true. Okay, ETR has London higher also. Okay, so I'm probably wrong. I probably need to change my ranking. If that's the way that ETR and Leg Up both have it, then I am probably wrong. I have stone zero friends who are into best ball, which is why I find myself arguing with Kevin every day in the Discord. Well, someone's got to do it. And I think, I mean, honestly, like, I think we're going to totally get a pass here for taking Neighbors over Henry and Chase Brown because we're going to get Breece here. So we've got McCaffrey, Neighbors, and Breece to start. Yeah, okay. So this is embarrassing. This is very embarrassing, Who Hames. I made a mistake last night. I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I realized that my slows were getting to a period of like winding down, and I should enter some more. Huge mistake. On the Drafters app, they have the join a fast draft, join a slow draft. And I joined 10 fast drafts instead of 10 slow drafts. And I went to sleep. Like I was not paying attention. So I wake up and I auto drafted without preparing for it. So I auto drafted 10 Drafters drafts off of ADP. So that was embarrassing. That sucked. Gonna have to tighten that up. But we'll figure it out. Isn't London quarterback proof? Yeah, I mean, he's pretty quarterback proof. Although there was kind of a bearish headline on Penix the other day. I feel like it maybe went a little bit underappreciated. So this is a quote from Falcons GM Ian Cunningham. Said there are, quote, a lot of discussions for us about the entire roster when asked if Michael Penix would be the guaranteed starter when he returns from injury. In an article written by ESPN's Mark Raimondi, Cunningham said the team is excited about Penix and what he's doing in rehab, but didn't comment on whether he would be locked in as the team's quarterback one for next season. Kirk Cousins is likely to be playing elsewhere. So competition Penix could face for the starting role will come from the outside via either the draft or free agency. So that was a wrinkle that I had not even considered, which is that they might bring someone in because they just don't think Penix is any good. So they might let Kirk Cousins go to Minnesota or whatever, but then the Falcons could be the Geno Smith team, or the Falcons could be the Mitch Trubisky team, or the Falcons could be the Ty Simpson team, which is something that I had not even gotten to. Yes. So there's this guy on Drafters named Lane Pryor that is like a bug in the ETR spreadsheet. So I bet I probably got auto drafted Lane Pryor in in all my fast drafts, which is just a huge bummer. It's a bummer to waste those bullets. Damn. All right. Do we want to go Adams? Do we want to go Burden? Do we want to go? I guess we just go Adams, right? All right, we'll just take Adams. So we have McCaffrey, Breece, all neighbors, Adams. I mean, it's a pretty good fantasy football start. Well, sadly, no site credit for me on old drafters. That's all. I wasted what $100. I wasted $100 of my own money because I clicked the wrong frickin' button. It's very annoying. I mean, Flacco is probably the perfect answer for Atlanta, I would say. Because if you bring in Flacco, he's shown that he will not disturb the locker room either way. He is not going to be pissy if he's the backup. He is not going to he's not going to agitate to start. And then if he is the starter and he plays poorly and gets benched, he'll be like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. I would assume the reason that Atlanta would call him would be that he has the existing relationship with Kevin Stefanski. I would assume. Okay. Well, it would be really nice to get Jalen Waddle. By the way, Terry McLaurin's still on the board here, so we must be drafting with a bunch of haters. All the University of Delaware dudes, Flacco, Kerrane, Miles, they're just chilling, bro. Man, am I going to get Shady's definitely going to take. Oh, Shady actually might take Waddle here. Okay. Well, either way, I know who I'm about to take. There you go. He goes Waddle. I'll take McLaurin. So we have Daniels, Breece, Neighbors, Adams, McLaurin. I mean, this is just such a steady veteran group of guys. Matt Ryan said he spoke to Joe Flacco about hiring Stefanski. No doubt playing here came up. Okay. Yeah, whatever happened to Marcus Yarns, MacNova? You know, I had not even pondered Flacco there. But it actually does make a good amount of sense. I'm actually pretty in on that idea now. I think everyone kind of wins there. Let Cousins leave if Cousins thinks he still has something to give. I mean, Cousins could start. Like, who do we think Cousins could start for? I mean, obviously Cousins could start for the Browns. Cousins could start for the Jets. Cousins could be the bridge quarterback for the Colts if they don't think Daniel Jones is ready. Cousins could go back to the Browns, actually. There could become some kind of swap there if the Falcons and Cardinals wanted to trade. You know, maybe the Cardinals. Vikings probably feels most likely back to where he came from. But, I mean, this will be the biggest difference in my drafts from pre-draft to post-draft is just this group of quarterbacks like Cousins, Mariota, Tua, Fields, Derek Carr, Will Howard, probably not Will Howard, Geno, Russell Wilson, probably not Carson Wentz, Flacco. I probably am going to take some stabs on all those guys, particularly while everything is so up in the air. You know, everything is so up in the air right now that I don't, I think I don't want to be buying high on these other guys. So the guys I don't want to be buying high, I don't want to buy the top on Darnold. I feel like Stroud is overpriced just for safety. Jones, Brissett is going to be a big mover down in my rankings because I think the reporting that they want Malik Willis is them telling us we are over the Jacoby Brissett experience. We do not want to do that again. I don't think I've taken Mac Jones yet. Where I want to go is if I was looking to move in on the Mac Jones thing, I would want to trade for him in Superflex Dynasty, which, by the way, if any of you guys play in Superflex Dynasty, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys do, I have a brand new up on patreon.com/DavisMattic. I've got a huge dynasty sheet. Like honestly, like probably like one of the most valuable things I've ever made. I have a Superflex Dynasty sheet that has like all the consensus rankings from everywhere across the industry with my own rankings. The left column is my ranking, but it's super valuable, honestly, if for nothing else other than for trading, just to have an idea of where everyone in the like what a player's true value is. And I'll be updating that, relatively often. No, slap model. Well, slap model has been integrated into the dynasty context. Do I want to take Jalen Hurts here? Is Jalen Hurts a good pick here? No, I'm going to take Brian Thomas Jr. because I feel like Stevenson and Brian Thomas Jr. and then Tyson are kind of the end of a tier there. I'll figure it out at quarterback. I'm taking him late in every draft. If he doesn't hit, well, I'll effectively be a 2 quarterback drafter in the big board this year. That guy for me is is actually Rodgers. I feel very, very certain that Aaron Rodgers is going to be starting for somebody. It's probably going to be Pittsburgh, could be Minnesota, but I feel pretty good about that. So Rodgers is my like round 18 quarterback of choice. Geno would be my round 20 quarterback of choice, followed by Marcus Mariota, followed by Tua, followed by Ty Simpson, probably. I mean, I guess, Ty Simpson could certainly be this year's Tyler Shuck. And I didn't like Tyler Shuck as a prospect, and I ended up being wrong about that. Okay. Well, I think that this is going to be a Jackson Dart team. So the sidekick has just not been with me on the stacking. I do still like the stacking aspect of these drafts. Yeah, it's saying Metcalf here. I am gonna go Jackson Dart. So we get Dart with Neighbors, Dart, McCaffrey, Breece, Neighbors, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, and Brian Thomas Jr. Still a quarterback in the window. I just assume my ranking differs there from legendary upside, or maybe it's just dog shit. How many people stress the last syllable in your name? A decent amount. People say, instead of saying Matic, they say Matek. Yeah. So that would be, well, which is not the way, I don't know. I've always known, like, linguistically, I've always known how my name is said, so I can't approach it as an unfamiliar word. But I would think if you would read it, the more, I guess the way my mind works is the more obvious mispronunciation would be Matic, like Nemanja Matic, but people don't see it and think Eastern European, so which is where it comes from. My guy PPR Tyler from the Teifel Tower, currently teaching PE right now, volleyball, but had to come say hello. Give a salute to my guy PPR Tyler. You guys should go check them out over at the Teifel Tower. They've been streaming here. What did they tell your family at Ellis Island? They said no Z's, brother. They said we don't do Z's here in the United States of America. Yeah, my great granddad came over, and they said his last name was Matt Zek, like the like the Los Angeles Angels pitcher. He was Angels, right? No, Braves. Which I bet we are probably related. If I looked into that, I bet I'm probably related to that guy. But it was Matt Zek. And they said, Z's? Not in this country, brother. Don't think so. Maytek? Maytek, maybe. I could see that being a more obvious American pronunciation. But Matek is just not even how you would like. What other word is pronounced like that? What other double T word is would you say like attic, automatic? I don't know. Ooh, well there you go. I mean these are my people, MacNova. Peter Mrazek. I mean the Czechs. These are my people. That's where I'm from. Yeah, they couldn't even understand people's accents, so it's just give them a name that sounds similar and move on. It's true. Although I would assume, I guess honestly, I don't know. I would assume my great great granddad spoke English. There, you know what? That's probably what it is, Ragnar. It's probably Mattel. That's probably what's happening in people's minds. Yeah, there you go. I mean, this feels late for Pollard. Oh, Pollard went. Do we do Purdy? Do we? What are we gonna do? Mahomes, Diggs. God, Sidekick just keeps making me take Mahomes. I mean, you guys see this. They're holding my hand. Yes, I mean, obviously, automatic was everywhere. Yes, but this we did find it. My guy Brian Kelly has it, which is that is we've solved it. Mattel. It's that people have the pronunciation in their head from Mattel, the toy company. It does seem obvious. But what seems obvious to me, but I think we actually did solve it. Why people pronounce it that way incorrectly at first. My last name went from Vilts to Wilds. Do you pronounce it like Wilds? Vilt is is that German or Polish? But that makes sense. Because V's we don't in English we don't, if you think about it, they're just the VZ, but just in general V's get replaced. I mean that's part of overall translating Germanic languages to English. Yeah, German. I mean that's just if you look at Germanic to English languages overall, you find that Z's become S's and V's become W's by and large. All right. Well, I was thinking tight end, but maybe not. If Gadsden was still here, I would. Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, he's not even. I literally don't think I've taken Michael Pittman Jr. yet. I'm going to take Jadarian Price. And that's why Shady Advice is going to win this pod, and I'm going to finish second place. I don't know, man. I have a hard time with Michael Pittman Jr. specifically. Just like actually very specifically Michael Pittman Jr. because I just don't know what's happening to him next. I went from McGillicuddy to McGill to McGill to McGill. Yeah. Well, that's pretty common too. Although you do get some McGillicuddys here in the United States. There you go. Thankfully, thank God it's 2 of 12, Shady. If Michael Pittman Jr. comes back to me with the next pick, I'm staying there. See, and I guess this is and Visions might be hitting on the answer here, but the Colts save $23.5 million cutting him. There are probably a decent amount of spots where Michael Pittman Jr. would be the best target earning wide receiver. So let's go through some of the teams that could really use him. The Patriots could really use him. The Bills could really use him. The Jets wouldn't need him. Jags don't need him. The Texans probably don't need him. The Colts would be cutting him. The Titans could use him. The Steelers could use him. Ravens, probably not. Bengals, probably not. Browns, probably not. Broncos, if they let Sutton go, maybe. Chargers don't need him. Chiefs would not pay him the money. Raiders, maybe. Raiders could possibly, I mean, the Raiders could pay him a lot. The Eagles don't need him. The Cowboys don't need him. The Commies, maybe. The Giants would probably just pay Wandale. Panthers don't need him. Bucks don't need him. Falcons don't need him. Saints probably don't need him. Bears don't need him. Packers don't need him. Lions don't need him. Vikings don't need him. Seahawks don't need him. Rams don't need him. 49ers maybe. 49ers if they lose out on everyone. Yeah, he fits on the Niners. He fits on because they're going to let Jennings go. Ayuk is going to be off the books in all likelihood. Kittle won't be back until, a month 2 into the season. Marks for me feels completely Marks and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt feel like basically completely unclickable to me. Like they suck and they are probably gonna get benched. I know it's just the J-Ball. This is me, bro. I need to change my biases on Michael Pittman Jr. because I think I'm almost certainly wrong, and I probably need to be fixing my biases. Chris Godwin Jr. Nope, he's gone. Juwan Jennings. All right, still no tight ends. So we're probably going to take 4. So we've got Dart with Neighbors. We have McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Neighbors, Adams, McLaurin, BTJ, Mahomes, Jadarian Price, and Juwan Jennings. All right. Oh, I am not clicking Manungai. Yeah, no Manungai for me. Very little marks, except for when Karain tells me to, and I'm in a mood for listening. And yeah, JCM. I mean, I was a big JCM guy last year, obviously, but like he could get killed by. I don't know here. He could get killed by a combination of James Conner and Emmett Johnson, like really easily. Or like, I don't know. Who's another 2026 running back? Like he could get killed by, I'm just looking at the slat model trying to find a running back. Katron Allen, It could definitely happen. David Montgomery and Cardinals. Is this true? Are you spreading lies? I'm pretty sure Emmett Johnson can pass block. Not that, I mean, I think we learned our lesson last year with Trevion Henderson about applying college pass blocking grades to guys in the NFL, but I'm pretty sure Emmett Johnson can pass block. JCM could get killed by Najee. All right, here you go. You've got it from last year's champion Goods that he's been clicking marks. Feels cheap even if they add someone. Bang, Kenny Gainwell there. Still no tight end, but that's okay. Kenny Gainwell, nice little addition there. They traded a lot for him. That was why I was so into him last year. All right. Pass blocking for Emmett Johnson. Holy shit. All right. Kevin was not lying. 8.3 pass blocking grade. Now, granted, very few. So this is really interesting, and actually is kind of one of the philosophical things. My guy Rich Rebar points this out all the time, which is that good pass catching running backs often end up not being asked to pass block because they run routes. So Emmett Johnson had only 36 pass block snaps last year, which feels bad, but look at why this is. We look at, I don't want rushing grades. I want receiving grades for just running backs. You'll see something pretty interesting here. So Emmett Johnson of all running backs ran this is 2024. So 2025. I'm a general believer you have to click pretty much everyone a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to be 0 marks until the Texans really enforce that it will be on the field, or until they start throwing the ball to the running back. So Emmett Johnson, of all the draft eligible running backs, 2026, ran the most routes. He ran the most routes of any draft eligible running back, which to me says his role in the NFL is going to be catching passes, not pass blocking. I could be wrong. Yes, I do have past data on all these guys. We'll look. Wandale Robinson. Oh, was way up in the slot model. I think as you would anticipate. Debo. All right, we're gonna keep pushing tight end. We got 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers. Wandale in the slot model. Higher than Sky Moore, higher than Christian Watson, higher than Devin Funchess, higher than AJ Brown, higher slap score than AJ Brown. AJ Brown had a better. They were right next to each other. So, really good breakout score because he produced young. He was an early declare, breakout age of 20, peak dominator rating 37%, and a ton of rushing bonus. So yeah. Well, I knew Wandale would be big in the slot model. Yeah, Wandale was amazing at Kentucky, and he was really good at Nebraska too. He's very very good at Nebraska as well. So that is a big part of it. Still trying to figure out if Jacoby Myers is related to Michael Myers. Yeah, Goods. What is the key to beating you in the big board this year? How can we beat you? What do we do? All right. Well, is it time to take a tight end yet? Probably not. I knew Shady was going to take Kamara. Tyrone Tracy, do we dare? Tyrone Tracy? Sure. 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 6 wide receivers, still no tight ends. Late tight end supremacy. The main reason all these guys we took last year as rookie running backs didn't break out is because they couldn't secure playing time due to pass pro. Kevin, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't think that's true. Because I think a lot of them sucked at pass pro and still got to play. And now I'm going to check this with facts, data, and logic. Because even like Scattaboo was not blocking reports, running back. We'll do draft year 2025. Who do you think was the highest? You guys are never going to get this in a million years. I can give you 20 guesses. The highest PFF graded pass catching running back or pass blocking running back. You guys will never get this in a million times. If you're watching this on replay, I promise you won't get it. No, this is only rookies. It's only rookies. It's not LaQuint Allen. In fact, LaQuint Allen not in the top 5. This is their NFL stats from last year. It's rookie running back, so it's draft class 2025 rookie running back PFF pass blocking grade. LaQuint Allen, I'll give you guys a hint, was 8th with a 62.8 PFF pass blocking grade on 83 pass blocking snaps. No, I promise you, it's the funniest possible answer. It is Jaden Blue. Now, granted, he only played 78 pass blocking snaps, but he is the highest. But some of the guys who graded really poorly, Ashton Genty, Kyle Monungai, Trevion Henderson, Ollie Gordon, Dylan Sampson, Quinshawn Judkins, Amarian Hampton, Cam Scattaboo was horrible. So basically, these guys were not like Woody Marks was actively bad at pass blocking. Genty was bad. Monungai was bad. The pass blocking, it matters, but it doesn't matter that much. Like Brashard Smith was good at it, and it did not earn him. It did not earn him more snaps. It's one of those things. Honestly, I'll really tell you, it's one of those things we say to feel better about ourselves. But basically, these guys have to be good at their actual job to get on the field, and the actual job part is maybe more important. I mean, some guys do get better, right? I mean, some guys certainly do get better. Probably not going to be Jaden Blue. See, I think this is ultimately a middle IQ take. As we take, you know what? Goods is here in the stream. We're gonna take Braylon Allen again. When Goods is here, I'm gonna take Braylon Allen. Ultimately, I think it is middle IQ to say that PFF can't grade pass blocking accurately because who else is doing it, and who do you want to be doing it? Like, I mean, ultimately, you'd probably want access to what the team is grading these guys on, and don't get me wrong, teams use PFF. Anyone who says that teams do not use Pro Football Focus is lying to your face. Well, I don't even know if it's hand cucking. I think we're kind of playing like Breece is on a different team. But yes, I would ultimately defer to this, that the best example is Henderson being touted as one of the best pass blocking blacks to ever come out of college, and he was legitimately bad at it in the NFL to the point that they were not playing him. So Trevion Henderson, 27.8 PFF pass blocking grade, 78 pass blocking snaps. He allowed 8 hurries and 11 pressures. So that, I mean, that is like brutal. That's so bad. That's so bad. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this kind of would be what you need. We need multiple Pro Football Focuses and then a composite. I would be into that. I would love if there would be, and I'm sure there is, right? I mean, there's got to be. Well, maybe not. There probably is not another company that does it. I would say, does Brandon Thorne do grading? Cause he's really good. Yeah, SIS might do it. I honestly, I don't know. I'd have to ask the RotoViz guys because they have some sort of agreement there. Ooh, I tell you who I'm not taking. TJ Hawkinson. I'll take a little Likely Dipperino here. All right, so our first tight end is Isaiah Likely. Maybe he ends up with one of our quarterbacks. Maybe we get lucky there. Okay, yes. Let's look at so let's remove draft year. And then we'll do 20% of 312. And then we'll find Ramondre was very good. But Ramondre's always been good at pass blocking. So Ramondre pass blocking in his career. Ramondre has 481 pass blocking snaps in his career. He has allowed 3 sacks. He's allowed 1 quarterback hit, 14 hurries, 18 pressures with a 96.7% efficiency at pass blocking. That has kind of always been his calling card. Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. What are you hoping for with Evan Ingram? He played fewer snaps than Adam Troutman last year. So I'm probably out. Antonio Gibson released. You know, it's funny. Antonio Gibson broke the slap model because of the way running backs are graded. Because you grade running backs based on their pass production. So his production score was 99.9 because he was a receiver in college. He was a receiver who also had a 91st percentile speed score. And yeah, so he was that's just a funny thing about the way modeling works. Brandon Thorne is another example of this. He's the only one willing to rank offensive line, and the fantasy football industry just defaults to him. So when he's wrong, there's a major ripple. Yeah, I've seen you bring up this point before with like Harmon and stuff, Flyfish. And ultimately, why I disagree with you is this, which is that you should largely defer to experts when you have no expertise. The fantasy football industry doesn't know shit about offensive line play. Fantasy football industry largely does not know shit about who's good at running what routes. And to act on expertise that is not perfect is still better than acting on no information and just guessing. Oh, and this is obviously even more true, which is I'd be shocked if NFL coaches weren't just biased against rookies at pass blocking. 100 million %. So Trevion Henderson makes a mistake pass blocking. Huge difference between Ramondre Stevenson making a mistake or Samaj P. makes a mistake. Gigantic difference between P. making a mistake and Taj Brooks making a mistake. Terrence Ferguson. All right, now we're cooking. We are cooking with gas. We have the Isaiah Likely and Terrence Ferguson tight end room added on here. While Shady Advice is going to take the boring bets next to us. The problem is if we don't have the expertise, it's hard for us to tell which experts are BSing us and which aren't. Well, I will say this for Thorne and Harmon, which you cannot say for a lot of these other film guys, is that Pat Thorman, they both have a specific grading system, so they at least have a way to try and falsify what they're doing, right? Because I keep doing that. Harmon and Thorne have like a way that they can keep track and then compare their stuff to prior years based on like they transfer their innate knowledge to metrics, which most people who do film does. Who does the best team offensive line evaluations? Again, I don't know anything about, like, I'm not going to say that this guy is the GOAT of all GOATs, but I say Brandon Thorne, who does his trench warfare. You can get that at trenchwarfare.substack.com. He has, there you go, all kinds of cool stuff about offensive line play. I mean, I don't know if you need that stuff to be like a great offensive line evaluator, but it's I think it's useful to know that stuff for fantasy football. I'm never saying, maybe I guess maybe I confused you with someone else. I'm definitely not taking Colby Parkinson, so we're gonna take Eli Stowers. So now we got all the tight ends. Beautiful. Thorne also ends up working with some of the guys who gets in-person info. There you go. Yeah, longevity matters. I mean, Harmon and Thorne have both been around for a long time doing this. Hendo was bad pass blocking, and the Pats' offensive line is not good enough to survive. They need the running back to be good at pass blocking. Yeah, that's probably true. Quarterbacks are going so early this year, 6th and 7th round, hard to adjust. I mean, because that part of the range is dead. That part of the draft range is dead, so you just want to gobble them up. Offensive line performance seems to be highly scheme dependent. You'll see a group of the same 5 starters have wildly varying performances with different offensive coordinators. Yeah, I would call that the Las Vegas Raiders problem. I mean, how annoying. Like the Raiders have good offensive linemen. They just had idiot Nepo baby idiots calling plays. Like the whole, I mean, that was all so tilting to me to experience. Well, yeah, Shady. So Shady is drafting off of the same thing I'm drafting off of. I have the leg up ranks in on the DraftKings sim. So we're Shady. You can see Shady is just making all the responsible clicks, and I'm making all the bad self-guided clicks here next to him. So if you want to draft like Shady Advice, you can with the sidekick. GM Kevin, join Slappy Central and Daddy will guide you all year. Yes, if you want access to everything that Kevin thinks about fantasy football, you can get it in Slappy Central. By the way, I did just start another draft in the other tab because I got an hour left before I gotta go. So we're gonna wrap up this draft and then hop over there. We just started one with Puka Nakua. I just know that's how that works. All right. How are we gonna? I mean, are we gonna take another tight end on this team? I've seen people speculate if new offensive coordinator Davis Webb takes over play calling in Denver. Would Sean Payton ever give up play calling? I mean, seriously, would he ever give up play calling? feels like no chance. Sean Payton loves the smell of his own farts. I'm not buying that at all. Well, to be fair, McNova, it's not your fault. I'm not doing a great job of being inclusive today. I'm gonna take Rodgers here in round 18 as my third quarterback. And then whoever Crane wants to give me as my final. Oh, I got 2 more picks left there. Okay. All right. So this team is what? What did I do with this team? Jackson Dart, Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Isaiah Likely, Brian Thomas Jr., Patrick Mahomes, Jadarian Price, Juwan Jennings, Kenny Gainwell, Deebo Samuel, Tyrone Tracy, Braylon Allen, T. Ferg, Stowers, Rodgers. Honestly, probably multiple more tight ends. Maybe just one more. Where are you guys at on Jake Tonjes? I've been arguing about this with these guys in the Discord, but like Jake Tonjes to me is the most Gary Barnidge ass dude of all time. He's been in the NFL since 2022. He caught 5 touchdowns on 46 targets last season. He had more touchdowns last season than he had when he was at the University of California. He had 4 touchdowns and 47 receptions in 4 seasons. I tend to think that Tonjes is going to go the way of the dodo. I mean, obviously, I don't know. There's nothing. I have no inside information. I know that the 49ers also like always sign new tight ends or bring in new tight ends. Like, you know, they're always drafting or bringing someone in, like almost as often as they are bringing in running backs. Freiermuth actually seems like a good pick when you've got Rodgers. So that's probably fine here. 0 Tonjes, fill in for Kittle. Tonjes is attached to Shanahan. If he's on the field, he's a good pick. Freiermuth. So here's the issue for me with Tonjes is I'm not sure he's on the field. The 49ers have taken Cameron Latu and Braden Willis and Charlie Warner and Caden Smith and Kittle all the way back in 2017. But then they also are just always adding so these are tight ends who have played for the 49ers or signed for the 49ers as free agents. So in 2024, their backup tight ends were Eric Sober and Braden Willis. They brought in Tonjes this last offseason. In 2023, it was Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly. In 2022, it was Ross Dwelly, Tyler Kraft, and Charlie Warner. Dwelly was the offseason addition that year. In 2021, behind Kittle, it was Warner and Dwelly. In 2020, Warner was the free agent addition the year before because Jordan Reed was the 2020 free agent addition. I mean, they just love to do that stuff. Let's take on this other team. Ooh, you know what? We'll give the people a treat. We'll do a true 0 RB team with the final team of the stream. My favorite late round tight end is Sanders in Carolina. Yeah, well, you're making some good points. I really liked Sanders last year, and then he got hurt and kind of just sucked. But I like the theory. Okay, so in the final stream of the draft, we have Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, and Chris Olave. So we are full slapping over there. As a Charger skeptic, how are you feeling about Amari and Hampton so far? So I am a noted Charger skeptic, Mr. Angus, but I'm not really an Amari and Hampton skeptic, and I'm not a Mike McDaniel Harbaugh want to run the ball skeptic. So to me, it's really about the offensive line play. And if the offensive line stays relatively healthy, they'll be okay. Like actually Hampton will probably be a smash, I would assume. Feels like almost for sure. Tremble is the tight end one. Well, I mean, maybe. I feel like they're always like calling like weird like scramble plays, like end arounds and shit for Tommy Tremble. The funny thing about Tommy Tremble is that he's like one of Soccer Dave's guys. And I don't even know how Soccer Dave ended up there. But it is the case. All right. Our final pick on this team is going to be Hoomst. We have got on this team Jackson Dart, Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Malik Neighbors with Dart, Devontae Adams, McLaurin, Likely, BTJ, Mahomes, Price, Jennings, Gainwell, Debo, Tracy, Braylon Allen, Terrence Ferguson, Eli Stowers, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Freiermuth. Do we dare take a fifth tight end? Do we dare take Justin Jolly? Do we dare take Max Clar? I just no one ever makes me less hip. I just seeing Darius Slayton on a team, I'm just like, what is the point? Maybe we take Hollywood. Maybe Hollywood's back with Kansas City. Let's do that. Like literally, what's the point? All right, there you go. 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, and now we bring ourselves back to a true 0 running back team where we have Puka, Nico, and Olave to start. After the 3 big rookie wide receivers, who would be your next 3? I mean, I basically agree with my sheet here. Concepcion. Actually, honestly, my rank, I totally lied. I'm going to be different than my sheet because my rankings are going to be Tate, Lemon, Tyson, Concepcion, probably Zachariah Branch, and then Omar Cooper Jr. Yeah. That's where ultimately I'd land, I think. Understanding the logic of David Kitchen would ruin most men. Straight up. Have I plugged in first round capital into Omar slap score? No, because of the very convoluted and complex way the slap score works. It's harder than you'd think to do that. But here, I can try. I can let me see if I can do it real quick. It might totally break my whole sheet, but I'll ask. All right, GG, my guy Hybrid Dad is at the 7 spot here. I think I should keep the bit going. I mean, I think we should just keep drafting. I think we should actually try and do a true 0 running back team. So let's do Lamar Jackson. So we've got Puka, Nico, Olave. I would have taken Loveland if he was available. Yeah, the guy next to me is going balls to the wall. All right. Watson, Scattaboo. All right, we're going to take Burden. So through 5 picks, we have Lamar Jackson, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, and Luther Bertarino. This will be my first true 0 running back spot. All right. What would Omar Cooper Jr.'s slap score be if his draft capital was first round 20th overall? Apparently, Claude Code is currently experiencing degraded performance, so I might not be able to get the answer. But I am curious because it does look like maybe he's headed there. So the tricky part about doing these 0 running back teams is that once Henderson and Warren go, there's like a giant break to a bunch of dudes who suck. This team will probably really want like Algier. And you know what? This will actually probably almost certainly end up being a Woody Marks team. 67% Omar Cooper Jr. on Drafters and DraftKings. I think you're skating to where the puck is going and skating to where the puck is going is kind of like what we're doing here. I would say Herzig, as always, said it best when he came on the channel a couple weeks ago when he said, like, right now in these drafts, in the big board, in the early stuff on DraftKings, we are drafting more for talent than we are for, I guess, what's the way to say, like, we're drafting for talent, not playing time. We're not so much drafting for opportunity because, I mean, Lord knows how many things are going to change from February until September. I mean, and not even September, right? Not even until September, until the first week of 2026. Like, we're not going to, or 2027, we are not going to get paid out for this contest that we are drafting on DraftKings right now for 10 months. All right. Okay. So here's the breakdown for Omar Cooper Jr. at pick 20. His slap model score would go from 71.83 to 79.58. His draft capital raw score would go to 87th percentile. Obviously, his enhanced breakout, his teammate score, his early declare score, his prospect profile score, he would jump from wide receiver 6 to wide receiver 5, passing Denzel Boston. His score would almost be the same as Concepcion. So the score would go to model score of 79.58. Let's find that. So model score 79.58. So similar wide receiver to that would be, trying to find it here. That would be like almost identical to like Christian Kirk, Laquan Treadwell, Brashad Perryman, Mike Williams, almost literally identical to Luther Burden, actually. Here you go. So 80.38, Zay Flowers 80.24, Devin Smith 79.6, but he was a first round pick. So there you go. So it would boost him up. It would boost him a lot. I mean, as you would expect, right? Being a first round overall pick, early declare, pretty good stuff. Okay. Do I want to keep the bit going, or do I want to take? Yeah, I mean, I almost certainly have to keep this bit going because we have Puka, Nico, Olave. This guy behind me actually probably is really unlikely, I would assume, to take a running back here. He needs wide receiver more. So let's take Jordan Tyson. So we now have 5 wide receivers. Maybe we only take 5. So I have not uploaded them to the website yet, but I moved Javonte up into let me take. Damn, did he take Jalen Warren? No, the guy before me took Jalen Warren. You know what? What could be more slappy than this? Taking Byshell Tootin at pick 74. So I moved Javonte up into this range right here, into the Scattaboo Harvey range. I think it's fine to take him at 42. Now that you know exactly the situation he's returning into, good offensive line. I think Javonte, like, if, like, for example, what would we have done with Javonte or Jonah Coleman? If Jonah Coleman was selected in the 2nd round by the Dallas Cowboys, where would he be drafted? So their roster was Jaden Blue, Jonah Coleman, Phil Maffa, Hunter Lupke, and Malik Davis. Javonte Williams signs a free agent contract with whoever. Make up your imagination. The Arizona, whoever. So Javonte is out of the equation. I mean, Jonah Coleman would be steamed up so high. I mean, Javonte actually comps to Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams. Look how this is just kind of funny. As Mighty Monarch says, Javonte was one of my favorite players before the knee injury. Javonte Williams was the 47th highest prospect overall in the slot model on his display score. Now, the model score is different. You guys don't care about the math that goes in there, but basically there was just no way to create an equilibrium between running backs and wide receivers. No way that I could figure out, because the equations for tight end, running backs and wide receivers are all different. But Javonte was just a total smash. Like great production, not great speed score, but really good draft capital, really good receiving yards per team pass attempt. He was awesome. Who is this year's JSN breakout? I mean, it's Luther Burden, right? Gotta be. To me, it's gotta be Luther Burden. Maybe Garrett Wilson. If the Jets get Kirk Cousins, maybe it's Garrett Wilson. Could be Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle with no Tyreek and some improved quarterback play. Where would ETN jump to if he signed with the Chiefs? I would put him ahead of all of those guys. So if ETN signed with the Chiefs, I would move Travis Etienne above Ken Walker, above Chase Brown. I'd move him above Jeremiah Love. Lad with no Keenan, Tet, Rome. I think Rome's lunch got eaten, personally. Unpopular opinion, but I think his lunch probably got eaten by Luther Burden and by really Colston Loveland actually is the larger problem there. Bang, Tony Pollard. It's all coming together. Lamar, Tootin, Pollard, Puka, Nico, Olave, Luther Burden, Jordan Tyson. We are cooking with gasoline on this team. Isn't this the extremely popular opinion? Yes, it is. I mean, just an insane value here on Jacoby Myers, right? I mean, look at this Dipperino. We are picking at 98, so a full round discount on Jacoby, and I think we're going to be done. I think that's it. I think 6 wide receivers. Love you, Matthew Corral, but you're basic. I love you, brother, but you're just very, very wrong about Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is really good at football. Yeah, sorry, bro. Appreciate you though, but Jalen Waddle, 5 years, 5,000 yards, 26 touchdowns. Just a very good football player. I know he's annoying to watch, but it just I don't know. It's just one of those things. Sometimes facts don't care about your feelings. Or maybe that's not even the right way to say it. Maybe it's just that basically the way you feel about football doesn't match up with the reality. Well, I can certainly prove that he has not had one good season, but Waddle is definitely overhyped. You have to admit that. I mean, Jalen Waddle is going in drafts. So for example, he's going after Parker Washington. Parker Washington has never had 800 yards in a season. You know, it's not even particularly close. I'd love to do a deep dive on the numbers. I don't think you're gonna like. I don't think you're gonna like what you find, brother. But we'll do it. We'll do We'll do wide receiver. We'll sort by we'll do receiving yards per game. We'll do statistical filters. We'll do receiving yards over 3,000 from 20. When did Waddle get drafted? See 2020. Jalen Waddle was drafted in 2021. Here you go. Most recent 5 seasons. Waddle has a lot of games that won't hit your lineup for probably being one of your first 3 wide receiver pick. Well, yeah, he's also played with Puka Nacua for his whole career. So just for example, here are some players that Jalen Waddle has more yards per game. Drake London is a 2nd-round pick. Terry McLaurin is a 4th-round pick. Garrett Wilson, a 3rd-round pick. Devonta Smith goes ahead of him. Zay Flowers goes ahead of him. Brandon Ayuk's being paid $100 million, more yards per game than DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman Jr., Deebo Samuel, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. So these are all guys who over the most recent 5 years. I know it's not fun. It's not fun when the reality does not agree with what your eyes see. But Jalen Waddle averages, basically same yards per game as Nico Collins, 65.9 to 64.6. Okay, take out his rookie year. Oh, okay. Sure. Let's take out his rookie year. I don't think this is going to prove what you want it to prove, but we can do it. Oh, I'm up. Wow, and Gadsden got here? Oh no, Gadsden didn't get here. David Montgomery? No, Gainwell's a better pick than Montgomery. Receiving yards per game. Yep. 64.9, still better than London, still better than Metcalf, still better than McLaurin, still better than Garrett Wilson, still better than Zay Flowers. I'm sorry, bro. Better than T. Higgins. I don't know what you want me to say. I know he doesn't. It's not fun to take him. Do we want to do old Demont? Yeah, we'll do old Monty D here. All right, so we got Lamar, Tootin, Pollard, Puka, Nico, Olave, Burden, Tyson, Myers, Gainwell, and Montgomery. It's not like I don't like I play fantasy football. I'm used to getting annoyed by Jalen Waddle too. But we don't have to pretend like he's not any good. Like why would we have to pretend that he's not any good? Yes, it's insanely infuriating to watch him hit the blue tent. I get it. Yeah. I mean it's super it's the most annoying thing in the world. Okay. Yeah, I mean he had 2 touchdowns last year. What do you want me to say? Zay Flowers before last season. Didn't Zay Flowers only have like 4 touchdowns in his career? Yeah, Zay Flowers has been playing in the NFL for 3 seasons and has 14 touchdowns. I don't think Zay Flowers sucks. Just kind of one of those things. Did you hear the Jordan James buzz? Yeah, I have been hearing it. People like Jordan James. But yeah, I mean, I would assume playing with Tyreek Hill and Quinn Ewers is I don't know. I just that kind of stuff loses me. Yeah, Trey McBride had 2 touchdowns a year ago. I know. I get it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when guys don't score when they're supposed to. But if anything, it's generally an indicator that the volume is going to meet the touchdowns as opposed to the touchdowns melting away. But hey, anything can happen, and fantasy football is supposed to be fun, and if you don't like watching Jalen Waddle play, then don't draft him. I mean, I certainly disagree with the idea that he's not a needle mover in games that Tyreek doesn't play, but I don't know. If their quarterback is Quinn Ewers, he's probably a pretty bad pick. Waddle was like a round 4 pick last year. I honestly kind of don't really remember either. Funny how that works. I think I want to take Stroud here over Kyler for the stack. I think that's what I'm going to do. What gum do I chew? What's the cost per day or week? So I chew Amazon Basics nicotine gum. And if you do the subscribe and save, so it just gets sent to your house once a month, it's like $22 a month. Keep the chief. All right, yeah, we're gonna take Stroud here. So we've got Stroud stacked with Nico. We're at pick 146. I think I'm just gonna take Andrews. Sidekick is gonna not tell me to take Andrews, but I kind of want the stack. I mean, Trey Benson or Andrews. What is the chance I get Andrews to come back to me? pretty light, but maybe. All right, we're going to take Benson. And if I get him, I get him. Running back was a bigger need, though. And this will probably be another 4 tight end team because I can with a wide receiver room of Puka, Nico, Olave, Burden, Tyson, and Myers, I can be done at wide receiver, I think. Yeah, although it's been killing me that Jacob brought this up on ADP chasing last week, which is that what is really the difference between Trey Benson and Marshawn Lloyd? And the answer is that the difference is not that large. It's not as large as you would want it to be. That much is for sure. Waddle or the 1.8 in Dynasty, I have got Jalen Waddle higher than the 1.8 in Dynasty. Honestly, probably by a relatively significant margin. If I had to guess, I just did my Dynasty rankings this last week. Well, here, you know what? I'm feeling generous today. I'll pull it up, AJ. I'll pull up my Dynasty rankings for you. 2026 Dynasty Superflex rankings. So I've got Waddle ranked 58th, and I have a 2027 first ranked 61st. And I have got, well, here you go. I got Tyson at 50. And then I've got Casey Concepcion, who'd be 108-ish at 77, and Denzel Boston at 81. So that means definitely Waddle. Did you ask Jacob what the difference between Travis Hunter and Bo Melton is? I did not. Hey, this is facts. Like, Matthew definitely is not wrong because he's saying, Angus said that he's a huge Waddle fan, but I feel like no one has benefited more from a great rookie year than him. Yeah, trust me, dude, I get it. I absolutely get it. Now we need to go do a deep dive on Waddle and send out trade offers for him. Yeah, and I bet, by the way, people will love to do that with you. Like, Waddle is one of those guys who people cannot wait to trade away. I'm almost certain. All right. Schultz is still available. Kelce's still available. Who took Mark Andrews from me? Mark Andrews went to John Beckham. All right. Well, allow me to reintroduce myself, Travis. It's been a couple weeks. Oh, nope, he went. So we're going to take Schultz for the stack. Who took Kelce from me, bro? Damn, Okiru just nailing me to the cross on that one. That sucked. Theo Johnson. You know what? I should have just frickin'. Ooh. Jonathan Brooks is so good for a 0 running back build because, again, he's either a 0 or slapping into your lineup. Have we gotten any updates on Jonathan Brooks? What is the skinny on Carolina Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks? This is from Sports Illustrated. Jonathan Brooks' return might be the best addition the Panthers can make. Barring an unforeseen setback, he will be healthy week 1 this year. If Jonathan Brooks was a prospect in this year's running back class, he would be first in yards per reception, second in yards per attempt, second in forced missed tackle rate, second in total yards per game, second in PFF grade, third in yards per route run. Well, that's pretty good. So basically, yeah, you know what? Where was old Jonathan Brooks? Jonathan Brooks was a really high-end running back prospect. 64.1 slap model score. Kind of low production score. 58th percentile speed score. 286 yards on 475 team pass attempts is not nothing. Yeah, okay. Well, he was fine. Yes, we are targeting fancy zeros. I mean, I would argue Brooks is probably even more of an absurd case than Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, Brooks also tore his right ACL twice since those stats. But yeah, I mean, if you put Brooks in this class, he would definitely be the running back 2 in the class, which I don't know. I've traded for him in some dynasty leagues actually on a couple tanking teams. There's some professional advice. Trade when you've got a crappy dynasty team, you can just trade for injured players and eat the 0 and then get them when they come back. You might be able to tell that I've spent a lot of time drafting crappy dynasty teams or managing crappy dynasty teams. All right, so I've got 5 more picks in this draft. I definitely need, I mean, probably 4 tight ends, probably 3 more tight ends, probably a couple more running back swings here. Gunnar Helm went, T. Ferg went, so damn. I mean, I would not be surprised actually if the sidekick wants me to just end with 5 straight tight ends. Would not be that surprising. I got some dynasty advice this morning. Orphan all your teams and play best ball. No, I love dynasty. I will never give up on dynasty. How many of last year's rookie running backs would have gone higher than this year's running back 2? A lot of them. A lot of them. Last year's rookie running back class was like probably an all-timer in terms of the guys who earned playing time right out of the gate. Like we might have one guy in Jeremiah Love who earns playing time week 1. That might be it. Right? It might be one guy. By week 4, it still might be one guy, depending on how high Jadarian Price goes. Oh my God. This is just, I have killed myself at tight end here. Am I on the Jeremiah Love train yet? I mean, I think everyone's on the Jeremiah Love train. He's very popular. All right, we're going to take Stowers because we can take whatever boring veteran we want next. I would say everyone is on the Jeremiah Love train. Am I on like the Jeremiah Love is better than Ashton Genty train as a prospect? Absolutely not. He is way worse. Cade Otton, sure. Cade Otton, why not? Why not, bro? Yeah, I mean Jeremiah Love. So Genty in my stuff is let's see. So slot model score of 70.5. Love is actually much higher. I wonder why that is. I guess he's got 280 receiving yards. I guess, yeah, his yards per pass attempt is pretty good. Have I clicked any Jonnu as the round 20 boring veteran yet? Not yet. He makes it to pick 20 sometimes. I'm happy to take him there. What if Parker Washington is 75% of Antonio Brown? I think that is the first time that those words have ever been strung together in the English language. I don't think he is. I mean, I think Parker Washington is a nice little player. I don't think that Parker Washington is like taking Parker Washington in the 5th round of drafts seems a bit much to me. About 75% of Godwin. He could be 75% of Godwin, I guess. I need the call sheet odds for Chimere DK making the Pro Bowl. Didn't he make the Pro Bowl last year? I think he did. I think Chimere DK did make the Pro Bowl because he was a great kick returner. I'm almost certain this is true. Chimere DK. Yes. Yep. Chimere DK did indeed make the Pro Bowl and the all rookie team as a punt returner. So the odds would be 100%. I think he set a record Yeah, he set the NFL rookie record for all-purpose yards, surpassing a mark that had stood since 1988 when Tim Brown set the standard with 2,317 yards. How many did he get in the end? Jamire DK Pro Football Reference. DK ended with 441 offensive scrimmage yards. He had 398 punt return yards and 1,588 kick return yards. Yeah, DK, I can see that. I can see a little bit of Tyler Lockett to his game. Played for a very run-heavy team in college. I can see it. I don't know if I love it, but I can see it. It's been nice to not draft with Shady in this one because I've got all the leg up brand guys still sitting here for me. So Jolly I can take, Gino I can still take. All right, so this team is Lamar, Tootin, Pollard, Puka, Nico, Olave, Dalton Schultz, Luther Burden, Jordan Tyson, Jacoby Myers, Kenny Gainwell, David Montgomery, CJ Stroud, Trey Brenson, Jonathan Brooks, Eli Stowers, and Cade Otton. We are going to add Justin Jolly next. And then we are going to add, I guess I took Rodgers the last two, so we'll take Gino on this one. Yeah, no, it is a fairly established player type for NFL success. That's actually a good stat head query to run. We're going to run that after I take Gino here. We're going to nab Gino, and then we'll go stat head, season finder. So let's go single seasons, matching criteria, descending. Where is, okay, all-purpose yards. We'll go 2010. We'll go running back, wide receiver. We'll go statistical filter. Let's just go receiving yards over 100. Receiving yards over 100, and then let's go all-purpose yards over 1,500, or maybe 1,000. No, 1,500. Where is all-purpose yards? All-purpose yards, we'll go 1,500, and we'll go remove. We'll go biographical filter, year of player's career, first year. And that should be good to give us what we want, I think. I mean, most of these guys are going to be. So you've got, if we sort this list by return yards, you've got Cordarrelle Patterson who hit, Jacoby Ford. Did Jacoby Ford ever really hit for fantasy? Jacoby Ford, he never really hit for fantasy. Randall Cobb hit for fantasy. Lockett hit for fantasy. Spiller hit for fantasy. Landry hit for fantasy. Amir Abdullah never really hit for fantasy. I mean, he was kind of okay. Tyreek Hill hit. Cohen hit. David Johnson hit. Isaiah Pacheco hit. Kamara hit. Miles Sanders hit. Bucky Irving. I mean, these guys are Odell Beckham. Let's lower the criteria. So let's lower all-purpose yards to 1,000. And then let's sort by return yards, and maybe we'll find more interesting stuff. Just join to see what if Parker Washington is a 75% Brown comment. Get help, people. Just subscribe to Amazon the Gum, taking a swing at getting off Copenhagen. It will definitely help you, bro. Honestly, it really will. I would be surprised if it doesn't. All right, maybe this list will be better. So this list adds in Jalen Knoll, who we'll see, McCole Hardman, who was not a hit, Steven Sims was not a hit, DeAnthony Thomas was not a hit, Xavier Gibson wasn't a hit, Dexter McCluster wasn't, Mims kind of was, Sanders was a hit, Tavon Austin kind of was, Rashid Shaheed was a future hit, Des Bryant was a hit, T.Y. Hilton was a hit, Tajay Spears ends up being a hit, Juju was a hit. We'll see on Trevion Henderson. We'll see Jalen Waddle was a hit. Philip Lindsay was a hit. Jaden Reed, Tyrone Tracy. I mean, a lot of these guys did kind of end up being hits. Yeah, and those guys also were not nearly as good. Different kickoff rule returns, though, right? So Chisholm, DK got a big boost from the kickoff rules being different. Okay. Final pick of the draft is going to be. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm just going to take another tight end. I'm going to take Michael Mayer over Cooper Kupp. So final team, Lamar Jackson, Byshell Tootin, Tony Pollard, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Dalton Schultz, Luther Burden III, Jordan Tyson, Jacoby Myers, Kenny Gainwell, David Montgomery, CJ Stroud, Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks, Eli Stowers, Cade Otton, Justin Jolly, Geno Smith, and Michael Mayer. Boys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure that you guys are drafting in the pre-draft training camp over on DraftKings. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and I will see you guys back tomorrow.